Hey, what's up YouTube? Hey, this Biker Caliente. I'm actually here in the Caliente garage trying to figure out what's going on with my bike. I tried to start it today and it wouldn't crank up for some reason. So this is not a joke. I'm not pretending. I'm really trying to figure out why my Honda Goldwing will not crank. I've recently changed out the battery. I went to a Yuasa battery. I switched from the NOCO lithium battery and I went to the AGM battery, and for some reason my Honda Goldwing is not cranking. Now it doesn't appear that I'm having a battery issue because I got plenty of power. As a matter of fact, I even had my Honda Goldwing plugged into a battery maintainer and it's showing that I got a full charge on the battery. So the bike lights up but it will not crank. So I'm trying to figure out what's actually going on with my Honda Goldwing. If any of you have the DCT style Honda Goldwing and this has happened to you, be sure to put it down in the comment section and let me know how you actually got your bike started. I'm fixing to dive into trying to diagnose why my Honda Goldwing will not start. I have both key fobs and it recognizes the key fob. I'm gonna test the battery just to verify that I got proper voltage, but according to my battery maintainer, everything is has proper voltage, but the bike just won't crank. It'll light up but it will not crank. So let's try to figure out what's going on with it. I'm gonna take the battery panel off, open up the fuse box and try to make sure that I don't have any blown fuses or anything. The last time I rid my bike, I didn't have an issue with it. I brought it back here in the Caliente garage. The bike was dirty. It needed washing, so I got up today. I pulled it out. I didn't crank it up. I just pulled it out, rolled it out in neutral, washed the bike, and when I went to crank the bike up to bring it back into the garage after washing it, the bike wouldn't crank. It wouldn't turn over. It wouldn't say anything. It lights up, but it doesn't crank. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it. So if you guys have the DCT and you ran into this problem, be sure to put it down in the comment section below. Let me know how you got your bike started. So I'm just going to begin the process of trying to figure out why my Honda Goldwing will not crank. So some of you guys that have the older Goldwing, you may try to chime in and give me some pointers. But I want to hear from you guys that have the DCT model if this has happened to you. So I'm going to show you that I'm trying to start the bike and it will not do anything. So normally when I crank my Honda Goldwing, there's two ways you can crank the Honda Goldwing. You can turn on the ignition and press the red button, the starter button on the top, and the bike will crank up. Or you could actually, as long as your key fob is in range of the bike, you can pull the brake and then tap on the ignition switch, the red switch on the top, and the bike will crank up. So I know those two procedures generally starts the bike. I never had an issue. I've never had a problem with this before. So I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. First thing I'm gonna do is my key fob. When you press the Honda button on the back, you're gonna get one red solid light. That means the key fob is turned off. If you press it again and hold it, you're gonna get 3 red flashes, which means that the key fob is on. So I'm gonna show you that my key fob is actually on. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer, let you guys see. I'm gonna press this Honda button on the back, and that means this key fob is off. I'm gonna take my second key fob, press it, and that means that these key fobs are off. So it's not gonna start because I got the key fobs off. I'm gonna turn on the key fob. Should get 3 flashes, 1, 2, 3, and that means that this key fob is on. I'm just gonna put it right here on the bike, and I'm gonna attempt to crank the bike, and I'm gonna show you that the bike will not even start. So I'm gonna turn on the accessory switch and the bike is gonna light up. See, the bike is lit up. Now when I go to press the red start button on the top, nothing is going to happen. So I'm going to press the brake and hit down on the red switch. Nothing is happening. Really weird. So just to show you again, I want to make sure that my camera is picking up. I'm going to turn on the switch. The bike is going to light up. I'm going to try to press the red start button on the top. Nothing is happening. Even if I cut the bike off and press in on the brake handle, nothing is happening. According to my voltage gauges here on the bike, is showing 12.2 volts. Everything on the dash is lit up like normal. The lights are on. I can see all of the gauges. It shows my trunk is open. The bike is in neutral. Park and brake is disengaged, which that shouldn't stop the bike from cranking. Everything is lit up normal, but the bike is not starting, so I don't know why that is. You know, the mill light is on, the oil light is on. Everything is lit up normal when you crank the Honda Goldwing. I checked the oil level is normal, but the bike is not turning over for some reason. So I'm gonna take off the side panel and try to see, to make sure that I don't have a blown fuse. So I don't know why the Honda Goldwing is not starting. It recognizes the key fob because my saddlebag's open. Okay, I'm gonna take off this panel here on the side, this battery panel, and try to see if I can determine why this thing is not cranking up. Now I have a multimeter. The multimeter is not going to show amperage, but it will show voltage. So I'm going to turn on my multimeter and I'm going to connect to my negative and positive. And let's look at how many volts that I'm showing. I'm showing 12.96 volts. 12.96 volts. So I doubt that this battery is bad. I recently just put this Yuasa in here, but for some reason the bike is not starting. So I'm going to check the ignition fuse to make sure that it's not blown. So if you take off your fuse panel cover, right here in the middle, the first fuse is a 10 amp ignition fuse. If you look, you got a 10 amp ignition fuse in that third row. I'm gonna check that fuse to make sure it's not blown. And if it's blown, I don't know why. I need a tool. Now, inside of this thing comes a little handy tool to pop out a fuse. I'm gonna pull out this 10 amp fuse here. Make sure it's not blown. Nope, fuse is good. So we got a good fuse. And let's see if there's any other slots. We got a 40 amp power amp, grip heater, and I'm just looking at the cover to see if there's anything that I might be missing. 10 amp smart, I'm not sure what that is. That's probably the smart key. And I can actually run down and test each fuse. I seriously doubt that I got a blown fuse. I'll put back that tool. One of the first things I'm gonna attempt to do is jump off the bike, and let's see if that helps. So I'm going to take my NOCO GB40. Now in my saddlebag, I actually have a plug that goes directly to the battery. so I don't have to hook in alligator clips. I'm going to plug this directly into this GB40. Let's connect straight to the battery. I'm going to turn on the power. I'm getting a green light. So let's see if this thing cranks up. That was weird. I'm gonna grab my Hawkman. Here we go. I'm gonna take my Hawkman. I'm gonna use a different battery jumper. And I just want to verify and see if it's the battery. I'm gonna plug in. I'm gonna hook onto the terminals. Red to positive, black to negative. I'm gonna turn on. It says it's ready. Okay, so I'm gonna sit that there and let's see if this thing actually jumps. If it nothing is happening. Nothing's happening. Turn the bike off. So the bike is not starting. You know, the last time I rid my bike, it rode fine. I didn't have any issues with it. So for the life of me, I don't know why. And this is really weird. Unless the battery terminals are loose, which I doubt it. I can check the battery terminals. I know my battery terminals are tight. That's tight. Unless the battery don't have enough cranking amps, but the jumper should jump it, even if the battery didn't have enough cranking amps. And this is really weird, man. So it looks like I might have to haul the bike in to the local Honda dealer to see if they can figure out what's going on with my Honda Goldwing. This is really weird. It will not even start. You know, usually the battery turns a starter that cranks the bike, but the Honda Goldwing is so electronic, I don't even know where to begin. So I'm just gonna try to figure this thing out. I'm kind of at a dead end. New battery, all the lights coming on, the bike is recognizing the key fob. All of the lights are lit up on the dash, but the bike is not turning over. Normally when you hit the button, you hear the starter jumps, but it didn't do anything. Interlocks, brake. Unless it could be this main fuse. Got a 120 amp main fuse there on the bottom. Which this is really weird, man. What am I doing wrong? All the lights on the dash is lit up. The bike is in neutral. Everything looks normal. Press the key. Nothing is happening. This garage is probably 100 degrees in here. I got the air on, but it's so hot outside. Just gonna turn on my camera, let you guys look at what I'm seeing. So as you can see, everything is lit up. There's my battery voltage, 12 on the battery voltage there, 12.1 here, 12.1. I'm gonna turn off the ignition and just show you again. Turn on the ignition and everything on the dash lights up normal. Everything looks normal. I'm gonna try to press in on the brake, press the button. Nothing is happening. Or even if I bet it's weird, this bike is not doing anything. And I got power, you know, there's my voltage. Bike is in neutral. Got the Yuasa battery, everything is lit up. So if you guys have any idea what could be going on with my bike, I want you guys to put it down in the comment section below. I'll probably just have to haul the bike in to the Honda dealer. This is the first time that this has ever happened. I would feel better if I got at least a click sound or, you know, the starter attempting to turn, nothing. I just doubt it's this battery because it's a new battery and the fuses are good. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comment section below. If there's anybody out there you ran into this problem, be sure to share it in the comment section. I know there's some people out there probably thinking that I'm joking, but this is no joke. I'm 100% serious. I can disconnect the battery, see if the bike will reset, and then connect it back up and see if that does anything. Which I could try that. I could disconnect the battery for about 10 minutes or so, hook it back up and see if the bike will crank. You know, maybe with this Goldwing, maybe it has to reset. I'll keep you guys posted on the problem I'm having with my bike not starting. Chime in on the video. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the comment section below. Thank you.